Hey guys, I'm making this video about just life in America. Just got off of work and I feel like I kind of want to talk about how my life personally is here. Now, the job I'm currently working at, I'm not going to be too specific, but it's a teaching position. There's not a lot of work-life balance. A lot of jobs, you work for hours and hours and hours. For example, with this job, I'll work some days, it seems like 12 hours, pretty much. And that's not even including all the other shit that I have to do with it. This job, I have to get certifications with it, right? So I'll spend an extra 3 hours per day doing that stuff. So I'll end up being 15 hours down the drain with the amount of time that I spend. It's not necessarily every day. Yeah, granted, I haven't been really studying for it as much this week, but I am stressed the hell out a lot of times. And this relates very well to work-life balance in the United States. For most part, this country does not have a good work-life balance. You work a lot of hours that you don't necessarily need to, whereas in other countries, part of your position is given off to the responsibility to someone else. So they'll just hire someone completely different to do part of your position that you would have been doing for a job in America. Maybe not all cases. This is probably an ultra specific example with teaching, but I know with teaching, teachers abroad don't have as much liabilities as teachers do in the United States. There's a unique issue that America has with teaching, and the fact that they put a lot of stress on teachers for no reason. When the United States has some of the highest amount of income comparatively to other countries, for a country like United States, there shouldn't be this excuse where they're saying, oh, the funding is just not allocated in the correct type of way. I could understand it to a certain extent if this was a country like Brazil, or we were living in South Africa, or some other third world country, quote unquote third world country. The United States, more and more, as I continue to live here, it feels like a third world country. I'm not gonna lie. If you look at the infrastructure here, it's poorly done. For the most part, most of the infrastructure has very poor maintaining of the roads. If you look at it, the roads have to be done pretty much every year to every 2 years in the United States, whereas in other places around the world, in Europe specifically, I know that they only replace the roads maybe every couple of years, probably they'll last 4 times the amount of time as roads would last in the United States. And that's for many reasons. You could say, yeah, people drive a lot more here, but I don't understand why there's not effective infrastructure for that, because that would make a lot of people's life more convenient. And if the United States had a better infrastructure, people wouldn't have to spend as much money on having a fucking stupid car. I mean, I'm one to talk. I spent money on my car. I'm paying a monthly payment for it. It's a Tesla. But, you know, I wouldn't have to get some shit like that. Even if a Tesla is a little bit more expensive than what a lot of people are paying for their car note every month, it's still the fact of the matter that you have to have a car to get from point A to point B anywhere in the United States. Which that fucking blows for me, because I don't really like spending money. I'm relatively cheap. I like being frugal with my money as much as possible, especially now because I'm so motivated to get out of the United States. I want to be able to save as much money as possible, stack up my money so I can eventually leave this country, because I feel so stressed out here. All I see, all the colors you mainly see in the United States are gray on the roads, which the roads are just gray, they're just boring. Most of the roads don't even look new, they look shitty. I know it sounds like I'm complaining about this a lot, But I feel as though if they had these core issues dealt with in the United States, the transportation issue and the housing issue, then it would be a lot seamless living here as compared to now, because it's so hard, so difficult to really do anything. If you're worried about housing, which we don't have a lot of accessible housing for a lot of people. We have houses, because when Americans think about housing, they think about having a house. But I think that part of the American dream is stupid for the most part. I don't think it's necessarily dead. But what ends up happening a lot of times is old people, empty nesters that don't necessarily need to have a house, they'll live in a house for years on end, forever, and they have a hopes of bringing it in, keeping it in their family as a form of passing down the wealth. But in reality, I don't even think that having a house gives you that much wealth. If in actuality, a house is more of a liability. It's annoying as hell to have a house. If I lived in a society that I would ideally want to live in, I would not have a house. I would just have an apartment. I wouldn't have a car. Yeah, I would take the tram everywhere. That would be my ideal life. But man, that's pretty much it for my rant today, guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update about what's going on in my life. I'm going to be making a lot more YouTube videos. I'm going to Brazil in a couple of months, so yeah, get ready for it. And a lot of my videos are probably going to be in my car from now on, so yeah, it's going to be a bump. Alright, see you guys in the next video.